Hello and welcome to Audio Adventures. This is a D&D 5th edition podcast that is made by friends, with friends, and for friends. And if you clicked on us, buckle up. It's going to be a crazy magic carpet ride for you and me. This podcast is used by my nerdy friends and I to escape our lives for a time and act out some pretty ridiculous scenarios. And we are so glad to have you here. A couple things before we start. Our group loves the rule of cool, so I'm sure we will get rules wrong. So if we do, please feel free to tell us in a kind fashion down in the comments. Also, if you want to contribute to the fantastical world of Seblos where this campaign takes place, please make a comment and you may be seeing that kobold cleric in the very near future, along with your name in the show as well. Now, please grab a seat and some popcorn, and let's meet our Wandering Vanguard. Audio Adventures is a D&D 5th edition homebrewed podcast and may deal with triggering themes at times. Viewer discretion is advised. Trigger warnings can be found in the description.
Previously on the Wandering Vanguard.
Our group, after hearing that Ekemon is being contained in an unknown location, decides that they need to put together a plan to get him back. In the Soul-Decked Hospitality B&B, they get together in Tibral's room of how they are going to try to get Ekemon back. They decide that it is time to go to Skrynet. And that's where we begin.
Alright, all of you are gathering up your stuff, and while this conversation is happening, Nyx, you're chilling downstairs. Tomb left about 15 to 20 minutes ago. You do realize that you forgot to tell him how everything works, and as you get up and start to leave the room, you hear a on your door.
I open the door.
You see Visaria standing there with a tray, looking up. It seems that she brought a sandwich cut down diagonally, and there's another like apple sort of like cut up on there, and then a small glass, what's probably filled with water. And she looks up. It seems that you really aren't eating too much, and I can't really stand for our guests to not have anything in them besides the apple they ate, so...
Oh, thank you, and I grabbed the tray, and I set it over next to the helmet.
She looks up and over into the room. I forget if you were talking about this, but what are you doing in here?
Oh, I'm working on helmet to help overcome the Warforged that I came with. It has a mental block.
Oh.
So in order to overcome this mental block, I'm trying to develop a helmet that will break through it.
Oh, well, you seem to... That's very nice of you. And she looks up at you and gives like a slight... You haven't seen her smile almost this entire time, except for when she's laughing at her brother. And she kind of like does like a small little like smile on each side of her mouth. It seems that you are a very caring individual, so I won't take too much more of your time, but I had a feeling that you were not eating because of something I did, so I don't...
Oh, no, I just get very invested in my work.
Well, you need to eat, so I won't take up too much of your time. And she looks down quickly. Goodbye. And she walks down the stairs quickly.
Goodbye? After she's like at the stairs and like starting to walk down, that's when I say goodbye.
And she says, mm-hmm. And she runs down the steps.
Okay. Well, I walk out of my room, close the door, and I remember that they were meeting in Tibral's room, so I go up to Tibral's room.
And all of you, as you're ending your conversation, you hear Tibral say, all right, does anyone need anything before we go? And then everyone hears on the door.
Come in.
I open the door.
Oh, hey, Nix. Didn't think you were
Wow,
coming.
there's a lot of people in here. No, I forgot to tell Toom how the magic items work. So the staff, hypothetically, if focusing your magic was an action, you can use an action to activate it, and the rod instantly teleports you and up to 199 other willing creatures to a paradise that exists in your planar space. And you can be there for up to 200 days.
Okay, then.
And then, once you're done with that, you can't use it again for another 10 days.
Makes sense.
Okay, bye. And I close the door and I walk back down to my room. And I eat the sandwich and the apples slices, and then I get back to work.
That man is an enigma.
I also can't
Pigeon
believe...
noises. Thank you, I tried.
I also can't believe, Peter, that we never told him about the mind thing.
That happened
Did?
yesterday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it happened the day before.
Gosh,
The day that I got all the materials to make it.
Oh no.
So
Well-
I'm gonna make it either way.
I know. I mean, obviously, Toom won't think to actually tell you that he doesn't need it anymore.
Yeah.
But theoretically, we might need it again. Just to
Hypothetic.
figure things out.
You know what? I could, if you don't want it, I'll make it and I'll go shove it on everybody's head I can find to bring back that one dragon god that everybody got.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Toom knows about him. Oh, but then that would probably reveal to Toom that he killed his whole clan.
Oh no.
Semantics.
That's gonna be rough.
Alrighty, are we going on an adventure?
Going on an adventure.
To save Ekman.
Woo! Let's hope it doesn't end terribly.
Here we go.
All right. All of you gather your stuff and start heading down the stairs. And Tavis, you hear, past your way past the kitchen, you hear Viseria yell out, "Hey, Tavis!
I turn. Yeah?
Come in here!"
Excuse me one moment. And I walk and I follow the noise.
And you see Viseria's in the middle of, she's at, like, the stovetop with sort of like a wok-style pan, tossing up some meat, and there's some sauces and greenery in there. And she looks back, "Perfect timing! I was just finishing, making, Mother and Father's meal, so let me just put it all in there, and you can take it to him, okay?"
Alright.
Puts there, you can see there's several bowls filled with greenery, there's some nuts, there's protein, and she puts it in a large sort of wicker picnic basket, and then hefts it off the counter and down and trudges it over to you and hands it over.
Well, thank you. I pick it up and I walk out of the room.
And she says, and don't forget about the rest of the stuff on the list, please.
I won't forget about the rest of the stuff on the list.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye. And then the door closes.
I walk out to everybody and I say, before we head to Skynet, I have to take care of a little chore.
Oh, will it take long?
No, I just gotta deliver food to my parents.
Oh, okay. That's on the way, isn't it?
I think so.
Ekman's already been there for a day. I think he can survive another one. I can imagine he can survive a couple more minutes. Oh, and we can ask your mom or your dad to get a hold of your sister so we can get that tour.
Yeah. I could get them to say that we're coming down to visit.
And all of you walk out of the B&B that is not in the air and make your way into the old Astrazelia, and you find your way to Tavis's father's shop, and you hear the ding, ding, as usual in there. And you look over and you see a group of women, elven women, walk into your mother's shop.
I walk into my mother's shop.
I'm going to stop him outside before he walks in there.
Okay.
Yes?
No, I'm going to stop Tomb.
Oh.
Tomb, speaking of, I might have something you could use. And I'm going to go through my pockets and pull out 3 rings, and I'm going to be like, okay, not this one is cursed. This one is also cursed, and I'll put the silver ring away. And this one is a ring of spell storing, though. I think you use spells, don't you?
I nod.
Then, here. And I give it to him.
I put my hand out. And then I look at Red Guest.
Question: is this actually?
It goes on your finger. Do you want me to put it on, or?
I look at it. Is it too small for my finger?
Right now it looks like it looks pretty small, but you know that magical rings have the tendency of just shrinking or expanding to its owner.
Okay. I guess I'll just slip it on.
Okay. Oh, we should probably catch up with the others, though.
I nod.
Right.
What'd you just give our boy?
The ring expands and slides onto your finger and then clamps down.
So how do I use it?
Oh, you know, if you have a spell you want to use, you hold it. Like, you know, and sometimes in a fight you feel like you need to hold a spell, you'd hold it, and then, but you focus that magic into the ring, and the ring holds it until you want to let it out. I guess Tomb is saying by his facial gestures.
Yeah, sorry, I should have.
Like, I would say, like, you would be like, you would guess that he's confused.
Yeah, so then I look at Red Guest, I look back at the ring on my finger, and then I look at Red Guest, and I look at the ring, then I look back at Red Guest, and then I nod in understanding.
Cool. High five. I put my hand up.
I look at my hand, I look at Red Guest's hand, and then I look back at my hand, and then I slowly lift it up, and then I just touch his hand, and then look at Red Guest.
We'll work on it. Good job.
And then I lower my hand, and I'm like, okay.
And I'll follow the others.
Alright. You're not quite sure what the like, you know what, like, do you want to try out the ring, or are you just gonna go in, wait?
I guess I would try out the ring to figure out, because they didn't necessarily tell me how I store spells in it, so I'd try to figure that out.
Said you get the focus and just kind of focus your brain.
Yeah.
Do I have a brain?
Oh my gosh.
I think
no.
I have branches where a brain would be.
If only I had a brain.
Maybe it's like my brain looks like wood, and then my heart also looks like wood. That'd be cool. I also feel like Tomb is the embodiment of Baymax.
Yeah.
Are you trying a spell?
Are you?
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
Alright, what spell are you trying and at what level?
The higher the better.
Oh gosh. I'm actually, you know what? I think I'll put seeming in it. In case I need to use that a second time.
What happens when she casts Save Me?
Cantrip.
What level?
5.
Yeah.
Level 5?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do I
You
cast the
see-
spell or do I put the spell in it?
So you cast it, and then the rings of spell storing, you cast it, you use up the spell slot, but you put it in the ring. So it's usually what
So,
people
like, I
do
use-
like the. Yeah,
So
you
it's-
still use the spell slot, but then you
Okay.
still have it in the ring.
Oh, did it actually work?
But
Oh.
no, I'm explaining
Wait,
what a
wait.
ring of spell storing does.
Wait. Hold on, wait.
We haven't tried anything yet.
Wait a
I'm
minute.
gonna... I'll use... To test it, I'm just gonna use... I'll use Blight.
What?
I know for a fact he would do it, and I know I wouldn't, but I know 2 would, so we're gonna do it.
Alright, what level of blight?
4.
Okay. So you focus on the sort of like necromantic energy that you feel
here we go.
constantly sort of like pulsing around you in the air molecules. And it sort of like gathers around you. And then as you feel like at the moment where you think the magic should be going into the ring of spell storing, you think might have done something wrong, the magic sort of freezes around you. And you hear a little ding-a-ding-a-ding, and a little voice says, excuse me, you have not filed the correct paperwork for that, and you are going to have to fill out all of these. And you see, you said 4th level?
Mm-hmm.
You see a sheaf of papers and a quill pen appear in front of you. And on the paper, it says, there are several sort of blank spaces saying, what is your name? What is your age? What is your race? Why do you want to cast this spell? Why do you think you should be able to cast this spell? Second page, continuing of the similar sort of questions. Third page, what is your social security number? Like, and do you spend
Half of those things who doesn't even know.
so
Don't
you
laugh.
feel the magic molecules just frozen around you, and this sort of snotty voice ring back, only when you do the correct paperwork may you be able to cast spells.
I'm so happy right now.
Oh, I have the paperwork.
Oh, I didn't expect that.
I write my name, and I write unknown for my age, and I write that I'm a warforged, and everything else I write unknown.
Okay. So you fill out the paperwork to the best of your ability.
Are you casting it right on front of you or on your ring?
On the ring thing? Or I probably would have turned around to like an open space and casted it so that nobody would, get
In
hurt.
the middle of the street.
Yeah, that's perfect.
In the middle of the street. Blight. Happens right over there in the middle of our street.
Can
Blight
you roll a perception check for me too?
kills all bugs that are in sight. Blight.
19.
Okay. So you notice, as this is all frozen around you and you start filling out the paperwork, you glance up and you see an elven man with a sort of like leather strap around his like diagonal and a shiny golden pin on one of his like sides of his chest.
Pin or pen?
Meandering through this pin, sort of like
Pin. Okay.
a golden star. on his chest. And he's meandering through the street with a long stick twirling around. And you fill out all of the paperwork. What is the range of blight?
Give me a second. Oh man, I should have seen this coming. Found it. 30 feet.
Okay. And as you like dot the period on the last page, you hear another ding ding ding. Thank you for your patronage. And a golden light and vanishes away, and all of the molecules just reanimate, and then you feel the spell finally take off, and the officer is right out of range. At 40 feet away. So it rather targets a weed on the ground. And you just see the weed wither up and just fall into ashes.
Oh man, Tomb. I'm so sorry. I must have given you the wrong ring.
I look at Redguest.
I'm doing my cat eyes.
Okay, Emma's fuming. Red, like, Tomb is just standing there like, what just happened? And he just stares at you. Can you take off the ring?
You try to take it off?
Yeah. Can it come off?
You pull at the finger in the ring that just clamped down at on your finger, and it is not budging. Similarly to the sort of like emblem that was just like put on your chest.
Have a knife or a sword or some sort of sharp thing.
I do have a sword. Are you sure? Do you want to hold the sword? I kind of already messed up here by giving you the wrong ring. Do you want to cut off yourself, or do you want to? We might be able to find someone who could take it off.
I just hand out my hand for him to give me the sword.
Oh, okay, and I'll hand him my normal rapier.
How long have they been out?
Pigeon noises. Emma, you have a sword.
No, I don't. I sold it.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
When?
We did an off-camera.
Yeah.
We did an off-camera, like buying a thon where she sold her dancing sword so she can buy the robe and the paraactive wound closure.
So I take Redguest's sword, and I probably put the ring on my right hand. So I take it in my left hand, and I go to cut off my finger. Can I do it?
Roll to hit.
Okay.
Actually, roll damage because it's yourself.
Right.
And around this time, you guys would have went in. It's pretty busy on the inside, so you probably wouldn't have really noticed. Tavis, at this point, you see your mother behind the counter, just saying, "Oh, sorry, Mrs. Jenkinson, here you go." And just working her sort of magic, so to speak, not literally, but keeping people calm as they're like waiting around, waiting for the long line to die down. And she looks up and she says, "Oh, Travis, could you go back in the room and grab a basket for me?"
Sure.
Thank
but
you.
first,
Oh, and if is that the food?
Yes, this is the delivery.
Actually, yeah. And she grabs it and puts it behind the counter.
Then I'm gonna quickly go into the back room, grab a basket, and then come back and then give her the basket.
And she looks over and says, "Thank you." And she like reaches over and hugs you and gives you a very motherly kiss on your forehead that is like slobbery and long.
Ugh.
And she's wearing like a chapstick of her own making that has a little bit of red tint to it. And it leaves like a little mark on your forehead.
Well, thank you. You have a good day now. I have to get going.
Says, "All right, then. Thank you for the food." And then she says, "Mrs. Willis, hold on."
You're welcome. And then I'm gonna walk back outside.
So, I guess this is a question for Raul. What is the attack bonus for the sword you gave me?
It would
Dex.
be your dex, wouldn't it? Isn't that what rapiers have?
I believe so.
So it's your dex
Alright.
modifier, and if you're not,
Would it be mine or would it be his since it's his?
It'd
Like
be
to
yours.
hit or to.
It'd be mine. Oh, okay.
Oh,
okay.
are you
I get-
talking about a plus? It wasn't a magical rapier, so it'd just be
Okay.
a
The
rapier
normal one.
roll.
Okay.
What is
Well,
that,
I
D8?
Yeah.
rolled a 2,
Okay.
and that obviously
you-
doesn't.
Oh, I said roll damage, not to. I
Oh.
backed up on that. Just roll
Okay.
damage. Sorry.
Hold on. Okay, so it's a D8.
Yeah.
Got it. 7 points of damage.
7.
Do I successfully get the finger off?
You guys see, like, you're kind of like jostling back and forth as this elven women are going around this apparently very successful crystal vase shop. And Tavis comes out with like the large red lip smack mark on the middle of his forehead, and all of you see a tomb just like with the sword in hand coming down to chop off probably one of his fingers, and it bounces off after it gives off a red sort of glint, but you do suffer 7 points of damage.
What are you guys doing?
I accidentally put on the wrong ring on Tomb.
What wrong ring?
I meant to give him the ring of spell story, and I gave him the ring of wizardry, bureaucratic stuff, whatever I got from the Polly's brother.
Thanks a lot.
I don't know what he's saying, what he wants to say, but it looks like he's giving me thanks a lot look.
Thank you, Raul.
But a sarcastic one.
Oh, Tomb, I'm so sorry.
You know that
Did
face?
you-
You know that face when like a mom is trying not to look stressed out, but she's very stressed out? That's Timber right now.
Oh, this is just great.
Did you try cutting Tomb's finger off?
What is with you guys and cutting limbs off?
I think that's what he just tried.
Yes, that is what I
Oh,
just
alright.
tried. I say to myself
Well,
in my mind.
Yes, that's what he just tried. It looks like. Oh,
hmm.
you made this look so hard, Tibble, to understand what he's saying. Thinking. I'll
Tavis
do
is
that.
wondering, theoretically, could he take the tip of his finger, touch the tip of Tomb's finger, and slide the ring onto my finger?
I
I
want
don't
you
know
to.
if that would be able to work or not, but
Okay, so
I think cursed item means it cannot come off.
1 second.
Let's just chop off the whole arm, I guess.
what about passing
Go to
the curse
Zion
to
and give you a
somebody
new
else?
arm.
But also, why would you want that?
Because
Why
that's
not give it
To
to
you.
me?
help Tomb.
Why not give it to
Alright.
me, who doesn't cast spells?
It's
So
only wizard spells.
yeah, so you like touch fingers with Tomb, and you feel like a little bit. You feel a little gross right now for touching the cursed finger. You just kind of feel like slimy, and you touch this weird ring, and you try to pull it towards your finger, and it is not coming.
Because our whole plan is shot.
Well,
My first official
Well.
day as a Wandering Vanguard, and I've already mucked things up.
well, is there anybody? Can I do a history check to see if there's anybody nearby that might be able to help?
Yeah, go for it.
That is a 16. No, wait. Sorry, that's fit. Yeah, it's 15. Sorry.
With the 15, you know that there are magic shops around, such as Merle's magic stuff. Or you could go back to the same place where you got the cursed ring and see if they have ways to counteract the cursed things that they had knowledge of that they sold. Or there is a couple sort of like more elite magic shops over near the bookstore that you saw Arnold, the Furbolgen. There's a couple options. You could also try the college, or maybe if you wanted to file a report with the police, they would have something. And speaking of, there's the elven man in the blue suit walking down the street looks up after that spell is cast and everyone gathers around Tomb, who he saw try to cut off his own finger. You hear, "Hey, no spells like that within city limits, son." And he starts walking over.
Do we run?
No, let's not run. Let you shut.
I'm going to slowly take my sword back and sheathe it.
Sorry, sir. My friend here got a cursed ring. Accidentally put on a cursed ring. Would you happen to know where we can get this thing taken off?
Sorry, son. I have no idea, but I mean, I guess you all are not from town from the way you all look, but I guess that'll something around these parts. People knowingly sell cursed items, and you have to. If you buy them, you take on that risk legally. So
I understand that. Do you know?
And you can't be doing those spells within city limits. It's especially that spell, Blight. Are you for real?
Tomb, you did what? Sorry, I'm so sorry, sir. It won't happen again.
Roll a persuasion check.
I stare at Tibro blankly, like I feel like in a way towards like I did something wrong.
Persuasion?
Yeah.
I think I'm good at that one. 19.
This police officer with kind of leans back. Well, since you all are tourists, it looks like. Well, I'll let you off on a warning, but you gotta make sure you tiptoe around here sometimes. There's a lot of weird things that happen, and it doesn't look like it would y'all would know about coming through here just casually. So you got your one tourist free pass. Now, if you do that again, we already marked you down for the free pass, so we don't. We'll be taking you in if you do another spell like that within city grounds. All right?
Serious question. Do you mean we've been marked as a whole, or marked in? Our friend has been marked individually. I'm not that I plan to do any. I can't really do any anyway, but.
You all have been marked because I just told all of you.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify.
Okay. We don't take kindly to rogue spellcasting in here, alright?
Alrighty. Thank you so much. And sorry again for this.
Got my eye on all of you.
Understandable.
He turns over. He turns his back and starts to walk down the street.
Tomb.
Good that none of us mentioned that was the spell he used to kill a man earlier. Red Guest whispers.
I'm gonna have a heart attack with you guys. We can't leave you alone for 2 minutes. But Tomb, let's not cast any more spells until we can figure out how to get that ring off of you. We'll have to figure out another way to get Ekman out of here.
I'm not.
Well, you still got Talon, don't you?
Yeah.
So
Talon ruffles his feathers and comes out from my torso.
cool. So you can help us with the lookout.
I know.
So, alrighty. So is that the only thing you had to deliver, Tavis?
I believe so. Although my mom was a bit busy, so I couldn't ask her to say that, to tell my sibling that we're dropping by, so...
Well,
I mean, maybe I could ask my dad, but... Or we can just go right in. I mean, I'm sure she wouldn't have a problem with me just, like, dropping in randomly.
Well, we can try that at least, and if we need to, I can send a message to your father and have him call her.
Alright.
At the very least, so.
Yeah, you could do that.
Cool. Well, are we off to Skynet then?
It looks like it.
Now let's not put on any other of those rings you got, Red Guest. I don't know. I don't remember what all they did. But I knew most of them were cursed.
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
So sorry, Doom. Do the bow.
Doom just stares at you for a second. And then
I don't know what I expected.
Don't worry, you'll get used to it.
Yeah.
Oh man. So Tavis, how do we get there?
Well, we would go down that road, and I give various directions on getting there. And then we would just be there.
All right. I'll let you lead the way.
All right. I
All of
lead
you
the way.
start making your way. Yep.
Making our way
Making our way.
downtown. Walking fast, faces fast, and we're
Making our way.
Skynet bound.
Down the block with my...
Hey there, everyone. I thought I would take this opportunity in our show to do some catching up. Some announceroonies, some talkies, even. Just to remind you all of our social medias, you can find us on Twitter, Audio Adventures at the username AudioAdventure2. Why 2, you ask? Well, number 1 was taken. Ayy. We are also on Facebook and Instagram. We have also set up a Ko-Fi. We had a couple comments made at us about being able to support us a bit with that good green juice that the world just seems to run on. So, if you're feeling generous towards us, that would be one of the avenues to help us grow and to encourage us as the artist as well. Another avenue to help us thrive and grow is to share and tell your friends about us. We are one of the many, many, many D&D podcasts out there, so we are ecstatic whenever someone wants to listen to us play D&D. We don't spend any money to advertise this show, so your support means that much more to us. And since there are more of us now, here is our Wandering Vanguard.
Well, I am Zach, and I will be playing Tavis, who is an Eladrin sorcerer. The only interesting fact that I can think of for him is that his last name is just, Elvish for owl, because he likes owls.
I'm Trevor. I am playing the character Nix-with-burning-red-eyes. Nix with burning red eyes. And his last name is Bright. He was born into a noble family, hence the actual last name, as he is a changeling artificer. Changelings don't normally have last names, they normally just have hyphenated names.
Hello there. My name is Tibril Darrow. I am a half-elf man from the town of Owlton. I am what you might call a soul knife. And before I get too far, let me explain what a soul knife is. A soul knife is someone who can summon a weapon that is bound to our soul. I used to have a long sword like my father, but now it's a glaive with etchings of flowers throughout the whole thing. Along with being able to summon the glaive, I'm able to use my mind to connect to the soul of others, to communicate and help in battle. Our friend Tomb, not being able to speak, but I'm able to connect to his soul and kind of get a general idea of what he's thinking and what he would say. Along with all that, my mom always said I had a golden glow to me, which I didn't really understand until now to be literal. Our soul's power shows through our bodies as different colors. I've never met another soul knife besides my father, so I don't know where he learned it. My mom and I lived in a town called Owlton. But before I get too very much into that, my mom was a very sick woman. We lost a lot of money and resources trying to find a cure, but nothing worked. My father left to find something to help her, and he never returned. That was when I was 8. I'm 25 now. Once I became a teen, I started working at the local apothecary. My father was a medic, master with blades and medicine, and I wanted to be like that. Medicine and plants, it's always been fascinating to me. I have my dad's journal here, and one day while looking through, I found something that I wasn't really expecting. I found out the book was only half filled. But the last page talked about this plant called the golden snapdragon. But apparently it's a plant of legend that can cure any known disease. The only other thing that's on these pages are 2 places, Mistreeston and Chanbu. And I think this is where he thought they were. Which makes sense with how rare it is. That'd be in 2 of the hardest countries to get into. I haven't been to either of these places, but it's the only lead I got. And one day we were raided by goblins. And then there's a group of adventurers came up. They helped clear the goblins away, and they even helped save a lot of people that day. They invited me to come along on the adventure. This is the only chance I had to find my dad. But before I left, my mom gave me a couple things. But she pulled out a cape, a long purple cape with 2 golden pauldrons on the side. It fit perfectly, like it was made to fit me. Then she also gave me her wedding ring. Told me to if I find Dad, tell it to get his butt home. Now I have three things I have to do. I have to find my dad, find the golden snapdragon, and make it home alive. Because if I don't, my mother will kill me.
So my name's Emma, and I'm gonna explain to you what my character looks like and everything because he actually can't talk. So his name is Tomb. He is a Warforged necromancer, and he kind of got his voice box ripped out, and so he can't speak. All he does is screech occasionally. He does write in a little notebook, so that's how he communicates most of the time. And he is covered in cherry blossoms, and he has a giant gash in the middle of his torso where he hides his familiar talon and some skulls and some other miscellaneous things. And yeah, he is silver with 2 green bands around each arm, and he has blue eyes. And that's pretty much it.
My name is Redguest. I am but a simple tabaxi who lives within others' means. I never knew my parents, but the Order of the Ghost Slayers made up for that. They taught me how to fight with honor as one of their esteemed blood hunters. My mercenary word taught me how to value my own life. These 2 paths have coiled into a journey of broken love and pointless purchases, where I now find myself with the Wandering Vanguard. I have no doubt they will be able to help me on my current mission.
And I think that's about it. Thanks so much for listening to this episode. And the next one will be up for all of you next Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See ya!
Yeah, all of you start your journey towards Scrynet with Tavis at the helm, making your way through the old Astrazalia, past the crawling shack that has indeed moved again as you guys walk past it. And you make your way through the flea market. It's a pretty darn busy day as you walk through again. It seems that Again, the city does not like to sleep. Whoever wants to give me a perception check may.
I'll do it. Never mind. I guess it's not awful. 13.
Nix, what you see is the helmet in front of you, and you see like it is going pretty darn
Don't forget
good.
the tray of food.
And the tray of food.
I'm gonna
And
set the tray outside in the hallway, just like leaning up against.
after a little while, you hear the tray kind of scrape against the wall like it's being picked up. And then footsteps down the stairs again. But the crew that is not working on a artificer thing.
Magic item that could potentially fry somebody's brain.
Yes, that one. With 13, Tibble, you kind of notice that today people are kind of giving you glances. Again, you guys can kind of grown used to it, but these glances are kind of lingering a little bit longer than usual.
Well, so much for going for a low profile.
Try to be really loud and get everyone's attention.
No, let's not do that. But we are
Okay.
getting a bunch of stares. I don't know who they're specifically looking at, or if they're looking at all four of us. But they're lingering a little longer than I like.
You guys continue your way through the city, receiving stares, kind of in a similar way throughout the entirety. You go across the plaza that you came in through, and go a similar route to what you took to Valkyrie's proper posture. And you guys now see in the distance a very, very large building with Scrynet, sort of like the Hollywood sign, up on top of the building. And it is, again, another sort of like purple stone building that seems to be floating up and down, slightly above the ground, and a large stone bridge going across a pretty wide chasm. And as you guys get to the edge of the chasm, you can kind of see about 30 feet down, you see sort of like, you haven't been so close to like the edge of the cliff in the Feywild before, but you guys see from your just like glances, you're not quite sure what it is. It looks like starlight, but in a sort of like waving manner that looks like what it would be like, sort of like with water.
Ooh,
That's pretty neat.
start to get closer to the edge.
You look down, and as you look up over, you see like it kind of like extends, sort of like what it would be like a body of water, except it looks like celestial matter, just kind of like waving and rippling for a long way past Scrynet. And you see like in the vaguest distance a little spot, what looks like to be like maybe another sort of bit of land.
Is that the sky, Tavis?
I don't. Should I make a history check?
Yeah.
All right. 12.
Since you live here, you would have known that from your classes at school that Astrazelia and the Feywild, in places rather than actual water, there are tears in the plains that just kind of happen, that seem to happen, and the astral sea replaces the water.
I say all of that.
Oh, what would happen if we went into it?
Well, it would. What would happen if we went into it?
With the 12, you have no idea. You were told that you probably shouldn't, unless you're pretty smart.
Well, I've been told before that I just shouldn't jump in there, so I'm just gonna say we probably shouldn't. And something bad might happen.
What was this about jumping?
No, I was just wondering what would happen if you jumped into it. just in case we might need to use it later.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Sorry, I caught the butt out of that conversation. I was really worried.
Mhm.
We already had one friend who tried to jump off stuff and didn't work out. Well, I can't say it didn't work out, but you know what I mean.
And you see as you're like peering over the edge, that you're standing, kind of like next to like a main pathway, and as you look up and over, there's several sort of elven people with the similar sort of, all of them that are going inside at the moment have on various parts of their body, all showing, some on their neck, some on the top of their hands, some on the backside of their forearm or their shoulders, the similar sort of crest, the shield with the large circle and the waving arms coming off of it, and the sort of orbs attached to the end of the arms that are just seem to be tattooed on different places of their body. But every single person going in and out of Skrynet seems to have it in some capacity.
Oh, just like those kids' parents.
Which kid are you talking about?
The kid with all the toys of us.
Oh, do they have the that tattoo?
I believe so.
Oh, fair enough. Seems like a popular design.
I don't know how I feel about the group that makes you put a tattoo on your body.
Do you have this tattoo, Tavis?
Do I have this tattoo, Sam?
You definitely do not have this tattoo.
Oh, well, I don't have one. No.
Should we go in?
That's sounds like good enough, or as good a plan as any.
Start making my way.
Making our way
Yep.
inside.
Make your way across the bridge.
Walking at an average human tabaxi, or warforged tabaxi, half elf and elf speed.
You see as you're crossing the bridge over, seems to be another sort of shift change happening. Seems to happen often, as they might have various employees that they have hired to make their shifts sort of like interchangeably shorter, so they can just rotate people out quickly. And you come up and you see the sort of like purple bluish stone building, and you see it is indeed 4 stories tall, with Skrynet plastered above it as the sort of Hollywood sign. And you look over and you see off to the right of this building is also large warehouse-looking structures as well. And you head inside of the main building, and immediately you see it's a nice sort of office look. You see immediately it's like the nice sort of sterile white office building with nice plush chairs off to the side and like a waiting room style. And then in the desk in front of you immediately you see not an elf, but sort of a blue woman that you would recognize as a water genasi, with white hair that is up in a bun, and a pale skin-colored tan cardigan, sitting behind the desk, writing something down on parchment paper. She looks up. Oh, hello to Skrynet. I'm Serpentine. Very nice to meet you. Is there something I can do for you all today?
Well, I'm here to see my sister,
Your sister's name is...
Venrith.
Fenrith. Let me just... she looks up to you. Let me just... and holds up like a finger for like a 1-minute sign, and then ducks below her desk and comes back up with like a folder with a large sort of like ream of paper sandwiched in the middle of it and puts it on the desk behind. Do you know what sort of department she works for with us?
I believe it is something more technical.
The technical department. So she's probably with our production departments, who works to maintain show quality instead of administration, correct?
Correct.
All right. And you said the name was one more time. Sorry.
Venrith.
Venrith, and she's going through all of her papers. Venrith. I don't have a Venrith here. What is her last name? Maybe I'll have that.
Soldect.
Soldect. All right. So we actually have 3 Soldect work in here. One of them is named Miana. One of them is named Liarel. And did you mean Vinroris?
Yes, Venroris.
Vinroris. Oh, yes. Yes, she does work here. Do I need to take down a message for her?
Yes. I came to ask her a few questions and if she could help me with a problem that my friend is having. And that if we could be able to meet today at some point.
All right. And you see like sort of like little water droplets beating up on this water Ganassi's skin every so often, and she reaches over and grabs like a little handkerchief and daps them every so often. Let's see. What is her shifts? And she like is pouring through the notes again. She says, actually it'd probably be in her specific file. And she closes the book, the sandwiched paper ream, and puts it down below, and you hear like a track opening, and she slides it in and track closing, probably of like one of those file cabinets, from what you would assume. And she opens up a lower desk and pulls out a smaller file folder, opens it up. Lucky you, she is working actually right about now. The end of her shift is coming up now. We'd like to give everyone shorter shifts, but more of them, so they can have breaks come back.
How long exactly?
Until she's finished?
Any estimate of time?
Of how long until she's finished with her shift?
Yes.
So that would probably be in probably about 10 minutes.
All right. Well, I guess we could wait then.
No problem. Don't feel free to help yourself to complimentary coffee, water. We have sort of a special sort of rose tea that we make here. It's all over there by those plush chairs as you walk in.
All right.
All right. If you all need anything else, my name is Serpentine once again. I'll be back here behind the desk. Sometimes I'll maybe need to get up and go other places in the building, but just ring the bell and I'll be summoned back here in a moment.
All right. And
All
I
right.
go sit down.
Serpentine sits back down and continues writing whenever she was writing.
So right now Timbrel's like scanning the area, looking at everywhere. Does he see anything that was like resembles the description that what's his face gave me?
From what Denethal said, this is not a plush area whatsoever. This seems to be sterile, workaday, sort of like sterile white walls that they attempt to put in like pictures of various parts of their offices. to try to make it look a little more homey. And there's one where it says, let me get the notes up. There's a little placard.
This is some good rose tea.
It is.
Okay, so you see, one of the pictures is sort of like a, it's not, and it's weird. It's not an oil painting. It's not a painting of any sort of regular paint that you would recognize. This seems to be one just even textured thing. And you're not quite sure how that happened, but it's framed in a sort of like black frame. And then below it, there's a gold placard that says Almondero Senior's Office.
I see that, or who sees that?
You see it.
Oh.
And it is a pretty nice looking sort of a study-ish sort of thing. There's like a fireplace on one side of the wall. There's bookcases. It is all pretty dark wood and a white carpet, but it doesn't look like anything the guy described.
Oh yeah, it's definitely. I don't think it would be my dad. I'm like, okay. Good to know. We'll make a mental note of that for later. But otherwise, I'm gonna sit in a chair. You know, like when someone's really nervous or waiting for something, and he's bouncing his leg, holding his hands together. He's like, "Come on. Why? Like, why is this the 10 longest minutes of his life?"
And all of you, if you don't want to do anything with that 10 minutes, the 10-minute passes, and you enjoy the various sorts of tea. Oh, did you say something, Zach?
No.
So, like, should we go jump into the void? We got time.
I mean, I'm gonna stop you, but if everyone wants to, I guess we can.
So you're saying if one person, or if everybody jumped off a cliff, you would too?
I mean, I don't want to be like alone with like a pile of dead bodies at the edge of a cliff. Like, would I?
As sad as imagery as that is, a fair point.
I mean, I'm voting no. So.
Fair. I wonder what the Nyx is doing right now. Cut to Nyx, working on stuff, cut back. He's probably doing something very intense.
Probably something important.
I'm fiddling with a silver. That's it.
He's looking at the hat, just keeps twisting it. It's like,
Yep. And to update that, like, it is the first helmet looks like it might be almost finished, as you are fiddling and twisting things around, and you're like tapping magic into it every so often of your own making. You see that this sort of like the copper wires start to come alive, and as they're twisting around, and you see like sort of like sparks every so often that you like just reconnect the wires and they stop sparking. But given probably a couple more hours, you're probably finished with the first helmet.
Nice. And then I need to work on the second one, and then connecting them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll get back to it.
Everything's
and-
coming together.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And as you all are sitting there drinking your rose tea, your coffee, your various sort of drinks of choice, the tea is by far the best thing made there. But serviceable. And after a while, you hear sort of a lower but feminine voice pipe up from behind all of you. Tavis?
Yes.
And you look around and you see the sort of about 5'2" tall elven woman with sort of like a petite long face, silver eyes, and dyed blue short bobbed hair with goggles on top of her head and a lab coat and a blue cardigan or a blue sweater and black pants approach you cautiously.
I forgot how to pronounce it again. Her name, Venrus.
Oh, Venroris.
Venroris. Okay.
I don't know if that's right.
Yes, I'm Venroris Soldect.
Everybody, this is my sister, Venroris.
And that was this episode of Audio Adventures. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and most of all, please share to get out the word so we can share our story with you and keep doing what we're doing. If you have an idea for an NPC, a shop, or even an encounter, please comment down below. You might be seeing any of those in the next session or maybe even the upcoming sessions. Again, thank you so much for being here, and we will see you next week. Please stay safe, everyone, and wear those seatbelts.